A tragic tale of abuse and injustice. A tragic incident has occurred where a newlywed bride was forced to consume acid and was subsequently murdered because she did not bring new clothes for her in-laws as wedding gifts. The dispute began on the third day of the wedding, specifically on the day of the wedding feast, Valima, when the mother-in-law confronted the bride, asking if her family did not know about the tradition of gifting clothes during post-wedding visits. Although the bride's family had provided clothes for everyone, the mother-in-law insisted that their family tradition required a massive amount of clothing for the entire extended family. This argument escalated over 3 to 4 days, leading to continuous harassment by the mother-in-law. The fatal assault by the 13th day after the wedding, the situation turned fatal. Early in the morning, while the husband was supposedly asleep, the mother-in-law entered the bride's room with 2 traditional sweets, laddus, pretending to show affection. She forced one into the bride's mouth. Within minutes, the bride became dizzy and lost consciousness due to a sedative mixed into the sweet. Once she was incapacitated, multiple people, including the mother-in-law and the husband, restrained her. While some held her arms, mouth, and feet, she was forcefully made to swallow acid. The husband allegedly held her nose to prevent her from breathing, forcing her to ingest the chemical, while the mother-in-law slapped her to make her swallow it. The cover-up and medical emergency following the assault, the groom's family contacted the bride's brother, claiming she was severely ill and that they were moving her to a hospital. Upon arrival, the brother found his sister on a stretcher outside the hospital, bleeding from the mouth and covered in froth. The groom falsely claimed it was a case of food poisoning. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the brother immediately arranged for an ambulance to transfer her to a larger medical facility. Doctors at the new hospital immediately recognized it as a criminal case of acid poisoning. Despite washing her stomach, they noted that the internal damage was extensive. The young bride fought for her life in the hospital for 4 days. A dying declaration during a brief period of semi-consciousness, the bride was unable to speak but communicated through gestures and writing. Her family provided her with a paper and pencil on which she detailed the entire horrific event. She wrote about how her mother-in-law presented the sweets, how she was drugged and physically restrained, how the acid was poured down her throat while her husband suffocated her. Her brother managed to record a brief video of her writing this statement as crucial evidence before the police or hospital staff could intervene to stop the recording. Tragically, on the 4th day, doctors pronounced her dead. Investigation and community impact. An initial investigation led to the registration of a criminal complaint naming the mother-in-law and the husband as primary suspects. The husband was arrested directly from the hospital, while the mother-in-law reportedly remains at large. Local community members described the victim as a deeply religious, quiet, and modest young woman who rarely left her home and spent her time teaching the Quran to hundreds of neighborhood children. The family is currently seeking justice for her brutal murder, highlighting the extreme cruelty faced by the young bride over a dispute regarding wedding gifts and material demands.